Okay, so very good morning, students. We had started with grammar in the last lecture. Just confirm if my voice is audible once again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the last lecture
Yes,
we
sir.
we had discussed about grammars. So just will quickly revise what is grammar. So grammar is four tuple, as I stated yesterday, that it is VN, then VT, then S and P. So in this, what do we mean by VN? VN is set of non-terminal symbols. VN is set of non-terminal symbols. Okay, set of non-terminal symbols. What are non-terminal symbols? These symbols are usually capital letter symbols. Okay. Then second is we have VT. What is VT? VT is set of terminal symbols. VT is set of terminal symbols. So these terminal symbols are nothing but our small case letters, or we can also say that these can be our digits 0 to n. Okay. Then we have one symbol S, which is basically the starting symbol of our grammar. So S is starting symbol of our grammar. S is denoted as starting symbol of grammar. Usually the starting symbol of grammar is a non-terminal symbol. It is a non-terminal symbol. And then we have production rules. We have production rules. So P is set of production rule. P is set of production rules, where each of this production rule is of form alpha derives beta. How we read this? We read this as alpha derives beta. Now, depending upon the values of alpha and beta, we have four types, right? Depending upon what you have in your alpha and what you have in your beta, we have total four types of grammar. We have total four types of grammar. What is the first type of grammar? First type of grammar is type 0 grammar. First is type 0 grammar. So in type 0 grammar, what we can have for our alpha and beta? Our alpha and beta both can be any combinations of terminal and non-terminal symbols. Alpha and beta can be any combinations of terminal and non-terminal symbols. So you can make any possible combinations out of your capital letters and small letters while writing your production rules on both the sides. So we had discussed few examples, like suppose S gives AAB and suppose AA gives B. Okay, we can have these kind of production rules. So you can write anything on the left hand side of your derivation and anything on the right hand side of your derivation. So this was the first type that we had discussed yesterday, right? Then next one is second type. Okay. So second type is called as type 1 grammar. Second is called as type 1 grammar. So in type 1 grammar, what we have? Alpha and beta here also can be any combination of terminals and non-terminals. Alpha and beta can be any combinations of terminals and non-terminals. Apart from that, what additional condition we have here? That length of alpha should be less than equal to length of beta. What is the additional condition that we have? Length of alpha should be less than equal to length of beta. So if we observe the left hand side grammar over here, here in the second production rule, alpha is small a capital A and beta is small b. So here length of alpha is not less than equal to length of beta. So this particular grammar can be called as type 0, but this cannot be called as type 1 grammar, right? This cannot be called as type 1 grammar. So I can have some grammar like this. Say for example, as give suppose AAB, AA gives suppose B, capital B, suppose small b. So this example is allowed now, because now here if you see, for all the three types that are written here, your length of alpha is less than equal to length of beta. So it can be called as type 1 grammar. Next is now type 2 grammar. Next is now type 2 grammar. So what is there in case of type 2 grammar here? Now here alpha compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. Alpha compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. And what about beta? Beta can be any combinations of terminal and non-terminal. Beta can be any combination of terminal and non-terminal symbol. So left hand side of your derivation compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. And no doubt length of alpha should be less than equal to length of beta. So in the left grammar over here, if you observe, in this second production rule, we have small a capital A gives small b capital B. So in the alpha, here you are having any combinations of terminals and non-terminals. So this kind of production rule is allowed in type 1, but it is not allowed in type 2, because in type 2, alpha compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. It has to be compulsory a non-terminal symbol. So I can give some examples. Suppose S gives AAB, and suppose A gives AA or B. So this kind of production rules we can have. Okay. This what I have written here is OR. Okay. What is meaning of this OR? Suppose if I have two production rules, A gives AA, and again another production rule is A gives B. So together I am writing that in the form of OR. So if I write these two production rules independently, how they will look? They will look like this: A gives AA and A gives B. If I want to write these two production rules together, because both are starting for same non-terminal symbols, so that I can show here in this form also. Are you getting this? Now we have the last type of grammar, that is type 3 grammar. Last type of grammar, that is type 3 grammar. So in type 3 grammar, what are the restrictions? Again, alpha compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. And now beta can take only two forms, either terminal followed by non-terminal, or it can be only a terminal symbol. So it should suit actually to only of these two forms. So we can have production rules like this: terminal followed by non-terminal and only terminal. Okay, so in this production rule, if you see in first production rule, we have in beta terminal, then non-terminal, and then again terminal. So this is allowed in type 2 grammar, but it is not allowed in type 3 grammar. In type 3 grammar, we should have terminal followed by non-terminal or only terminal symbol. Is this understood, my dear students? Any doubt in the types of grammar?
No, sir.
Yes, all the four types of grammar are understood. Grammar is 4 tuple Vn, Vt, S and P. Vn is set of non-terminal symbols. Vt is set of terminal symbols. S is starting symbol of grammar, which compulsory has to be a non-terminal symbol. Then P is set of production rule, where every production rule is of form alpha derives beta. Okay, depending upon the values of alpha and beta, we have 4 types of grammar: type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 0 grammar is also called as unrestricted grammar. Okay, it is also called as unrestricted grammar, or the corresponding language is called as unrestricted language. Okay, then we have subset of it in the form of type 1 grammar, which is basically context sensitive grammar, and the corresponding language is called as context sensitive language. Then we have type 2 grammar, which we call it as context free grammar, or the corresponding language as context free language. Within that we have regular grammar, or its corresponding language is called as regular language. So this is how the hierarchy looks like. So all regular languages are context free languages, but all context free languages are not regular. Same is the case with grammar also. All regular grammars could be treated as context free grammars, but all context-free grammars cannot be treated as regular grammar. And the hierarchy continues for the next entities also. Like all context-free grammars are context-sensitive grammars, but all context-sensitive grammars are not context-free grammars, and so on. So this diagram shows us the relationship between the 4 types of grammar and their corresponding 4 types of languages. Is it clear, students? Any doubts? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us
Yes,
now,
sir.
So let us now see some numericals based on grammar. As I told you that most of the content that we have in our curriculum of theory of computation is based on context-free grammar. So whatever grammar will be given for you, you have to write context-free grammar for those languages. What you have to do? You have to write context-free grammar for those. Okay, you have to write context-free grammar. You'll also have few numericals for regular grammar, but I'll tell you when we'll be discussing those regular grammar. But as of now, we are discussing problems for context-free grammars. Okay, so let us take the first example today. Let us take the first example for today. Just a moment. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us take the first example. All of you are advised to open your notebooks simultaneously, and you have to solve in your notebooks. I may ask you to submit your notebooks. Okay. So make sure that you are also making note of all these things while the lecture is going on. Okay. So first example is a raised to n, b raised to n. Take down the question where n is greater than equal to 0. A raised to n, b raised to n, where n is greater than or equal to 0. So I had explained you the meaning of this language during pumping lemma session. Right? What this language indicates? It indicates that the number of A's and the number of B's in this string are same. Number of A's and number of B's in the string are same. If I have 0 A's and 0 B's, because value of n starts with 0. If I have 0 A and 0 B's, the string that I generate from that language will be null. No A and no B, then the string generated from that language will be null. What will be the next string that gets generated from this language? Value of n will be treated as 1. So if value of n is 1, I have 1A and 1B. So the string generated from that language will be AB. String generated from that language will be AB. What will be the next string generated? 2 times A and 2 times B. What is the next string generated? 2 times A and 2 times B. Is it understood, my dear students? What will be the next string generated? 3 times A and 3 times B. 3 times A and 3 times B, and so on. Are the strings understood? Value of n is 0, string generated will be null. Value of n is 1, string generated will be AB. Value of n is 2, string generated will be AABB. Don't write it as A square B square. It indicates how many A's and how many B's are there in your string. So it is like AABB. Then we have value of n as 3. So we will have 3 A's and 3 B's, and so on. Followed by we'll have 4 A's and 4 B's, and so on. Like this string will be there. So now, my dear students, we have to write grammar for this particular language. What we have to do? We have to write grammar for this particular language. And what type of grammar we have to write? We have to write context-free grammar. What type of grammar we have to write? We have to write context-free grammar. So if you see, there are 4 tuples in our grammar. What are the 4 tuples? Vn, Vt, S, and P. Vn non-terminal, Vt terminal, S is the starting symbol, and P is the production rule. Now, what is the most important tuple in this out of 4? The most important tuple out of this 4 is your P, that is your production rules, right? Because production rules is something which will actually tell you what that grammar is. From that production rule, you can easily write what are the remaining 3 tuples, right? So what we need to actually construct here in this is the production rules. We need to construct these production rules. So how to construct these production rules? So we can start making use of non-terminal symbols. We can start making use of non-terminal symbols. Now, what are terminal symbols? I told you, terminal symbols, we can link it to our alphabet. We can link it to our alphabet. So in this particular example, what is our alphabet here? A and B. What is alphabet here? It is A and B. So our terminal symbol also for this problem will be A and B, small a and small b. And non-terminal symbols we will start constructing, and we'll take non-terminal symbol as per our requirement. As per our requirement. Initially, my dear students, if you observe, initially I'll take one non-terminal symbol here, that is S, from where my grammar will begin. Initially, I am taking one non-terminal symbol S, from where my grammar is beginning. All of you just pay attention. This is very important. Okay, S is my first non-terminal symbol that I have taken, from where my grammar is beginning. Now, what kind of strings I have? If you closely observe, my dear students, over here, for every A, I have a corresponding B. For every A, I have a corresponding B. So if I have this A, I have corresponding B for this over here. If I have this A, I have a corresponding B for it over here. If I have this A, I have corresponding B for it over here. Right? Same is applied to this string also. For this A, there is a corresponding B over here. For this A, there is a corresponding B over here. Are you getting this? Similarly, for this string also. For this A, there is a corresponding B over here. Are you getting this, my dear students? So, for every A, I have a corresponding B. For every A, I have a corresponding B. And now this is getting repeated again and again. It is getting repeated again and again. So what I do, students, I use the same non-terminal symbol S over here in order to run so-called recursion between that non-terminal symbol now. So say for example, I want to generate a string like AB, suppose AB. So I will apply S gives ASB. So I will be done with one A and one B. Are you getting this? I'll be done with one A and one B. Now suppose I ask you to generate string like 3 A's and 3 B's. Suppose I ask you to generate this string 3 A's and 3 B's. If I ask you to generate this string, how I can generate this string? So for that first I'll apply A S B. For that first I'll apply A S B. Then again for this S, again I'll apply A S B. With this I'll be done with 2 A's. Then again for this S I'll apply A S B. Are you getting this? So I am able to get 3 A's and 3 B's. Are you able to understand this? So if I want to keep on increasing my number of A's and number of B's, simply I can apply the same production rule again and again to generate all those possible strings. Is it clear? Is it understood, students? How did we use the same non-terminal symbol? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So we are making use of same non-terminal symbol. S gives ASB. So if I want to generate a string like AB, I'll use this S is equal to S gives ASB only once. If I want to generate 2A and 2B kind of string, then I'll apply it 2 times. Now, my dear students, this should stop somewhere, right? This should stop. So suppose when we solve the first problem, that was for AB, but still there is this S remaining in between, correct? Or second example I solved was 3A and 3B's. Still this S is remaining in between. So for this string, what is remaining here in between is null. Here also what is remaining here in between is null, because once I complete 3 A's and 3 B's, what is remaining between over here? Nothing is remaining, means null. So what I do is I'll add or null to this. This is as good as like this. S gives ASB and S gives null. These are two different production rules, but we can also write these two production rules in this form. S gives ASB or null. S gives ASB or null. So now, my dear students, if I directly apply S gives null, my first string null gets accepted, correct? My first string null gets accepted. Now if I want AB to get accepted, what I'll do? I'll first apply S gives ASB and then I'll apply S gives null. So once I apply S gives null, what string I'll get out of this? AB. So my AB string is accepted. What will happen to 3A and 3B? First I'll apply S gives ASB. Then again I'll apply S gives ASB. Again I'll apply S gives ASB. I'll get 3A's, S and BBB. Then I'll apply S gives null. So once I apply S gives null, I'll get final string as 3A's and 3B's. So when I solve this string, I write it in the derivation form. See, me kasa lito tela. See how? Observe this. ASB. Which production rule I use? I use production rule S gives ASB. I use the production rule S gives ASB. Next time what I do? Next time I replace it. I replace S by ASB. So here I write which production rule I am using. I am using S gives ASB. Next time again I use S gives ASB. So ASB BB. What production rule I have used? S gives ASB. So in the bracket I am specifying which production rule I have used. Here I am specifying which production rule I have used. And this process that I am writing is an example of derivation. This is an example of derivation. This is example of derivation. Finally, what I am going to do? I am going to apply S gives null. I am going to apply S gives null. So from this I generate a string that is AAA BBB. I generate a string that is AAA and BBB. Is this understood? Now if I ask you to write 4 tuple for this grammar, what will be 4 tuple? What is non-terminal symbol? What is non-terminal symbol? It is S. Only one non-terminal symbol is there, correct? What is terminal symbol of this problem? Terminal symbol for this problem is A and B. Terminal symbol is A and B. What is starting symbol of our grammar? What is starting symbol of our grammar? It is S, which is belonging to Bn. And what are our production rules? These are our production rules. These are our production rules. Is the example understood? A raised to n, B raised to n, where n is greater than equal to 0? Yes, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when you get this type of question for constructing grammar, so what is expected is first you need to work out your production rules. Correct? You need to work out your production rules. So you will first write L. First you will write these strings for your language. Once you write these strings, looking at the strings, we need to write the production rules. Once you finalize the production rules, then you will write the remaining 3 tuples. Because production rules you have already written, right? So you can write the remaining 3 tuple, that is Vn, Vt and starting symbol. Once you write this remaining three tuple, then you have to solve one derivation process. Means this one, which I am marking here. This is the derivation process. Is it clear what is expected in the answer? First, you will write strings. After you write the strings, you will try to construct the production rules. Once you construct the production rules, you will write the remaining 3 tuples in the form of terminal, non-terminal and starting symbol. And after that, you will show one derivation process. Is it clear? I'll just hold this screen for another 2 to 3 minutes. All of you can take down this problem in your notebooks. It is 11:55 right now. I'll wait for 2 minutes till 11:57. You take down this problem in your notebooks. Done, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us take next example. All of you note down the next example. Language L is equal to a raised to n, b raised to n, where n is greater than equal to 1. A raised to n, b raised to n, where n is greater than equal to 1. So what will be the difference in this? As n is greater than equal to 1 now, so n cannot be 0 now. And if n is not 0, you will not have a null string in this language. You will not have a null string in the language. So the first string that will be there in this language will be with the value of n as 1. With the value of n as 1. So the string generated if the value of n is 1 will be AB. String generated will be AB. Next string generated will be AA, BB. Then next string generated will be 3 times A and 3 times B. Then 4 times A and 4 times B, and so on. Is it understood? So only change here is that you will not have null string. You will not have null string. Now when I try to write a grammar, we have seen that if I want to repeat same non-terminal, we had written a pattern like this in earlier example, and we repeated with S, and then we closed this using or null. But due to this, what happened is directly you can apply S gives null. Directly you can apply S gives null, and then null string gets accepted, and null string get accepted. But now I don't want null in my language. I don't want null in my language. I don't want null in my language. So in that case, this particular thing will not work, right? This particular thing will not work, right? So see how we write the grammar for this. So no doubt we require recursion for A and B. No doubt we require recursion for A and B, because for every A I have a corresponding B. For every A I have a corresponding B. For every A I have a corresponding B. Every A corresponding B. Any string that you take, A you have a B. A you have a B, right? But now what I do here, I use another non-terminal. I use another non-terminal here. Suppose that another non-terminal is capital A. It is capital A. So what will happen, my dear students, when I write production rule like this, that S gives A, capital A and B. So minimum one A will be applied over here. Minimum one small a and small b will be applied. Are you getting this? Now I will not apply directly null over here. Rather, I'll write another production rule here, that is A gives A, capital A, B or null. Now what will happen due to this? Minimum one A and minimum one B will always be applied, because I will start from the starting symbol of grammar, right? I'll start from the starting symbol of grammar. The first production rule that I'll apply will be A, capital A, B. So minimum one A and one B will be applied. Then suppose I want string like AB. Suppose I want string like AB. Then what will happen? Then I'll make this A as null by using production rule A gives null. Are you getting this? Suppose I am processing string AB. Suppose I am processing string AB. How I will write derivation for this? First I will do S gives AAB. First I will do gives S gives AAB. And then I will make A as null. Using production rule A gives null. Using production rule A gives null. Are you getting this? Suppose if I ask you to process string like AABB. Suppose I ask you to process string like AABB. See how this will be processed now, my dear students. First, I'll apply S gives AAB. Correct? Production rule used is S gives AAB. Then next time I want one more A, because my string is having two A's and two B's. So this second A now I'll get from this A production rule. Correct? This A production rule again has a recursion for A and B once again. So that I'll apply over here now. So this is A, B. Which production rule we have applied here? A gives AAB. Which production rule we have applied here? A gives AAB. Are you getting this? Then next, which production rule I'll apply? Can anyone tell me? Which production rule I should apply next for generating AABB? Yes, anyone? Yes? Hello? Someone has unmuted?
A gives AAB.
A gives
A gives null.
Correct. A gives null is we are going to apply. What we are going to apply here is A gives null. Then only this A will become null now, and then your string will be AABB. Your string will be AABB. Are you getting this? Suppose I give you string like 3 times A, 3 times B. 3 times A, 3 times B. Okay. Then what will be the first production rule that you apply? A gives, S gives AAB. First will be S gives AAB. Next will be this A gives AAB. AAB. Then I want 3 A's. So again this A gives AAB. So this A gives A, B. And then now once I am done with 3 A's and 3 B's, then I'll make this A as null. So production rule that I apply here will be A gives null. So what production rules we have used here? First time I used S gives AAB. Next time I used A gives AAB. Then next time again I used A gives AAB. And here I had used A gives null. Are you getting this? What will be our 4 tuple? What is our VT? Sorry, what is our VN? VN is of this problem is now 2 symbols are there, capital S and capital A. Capital S and capital A. What is our terminal symbol? Small a and small b. What is starting symbol of our grammar? Starting symbol of our grammar is capital S, which belongs to non-terminal. And this is our production rules. This is our production rules. Is the example understood, my dear students? So what sequence you should write? First problem, then you'll write strings, then you'll write this production rules. After you write this production rules, then you will write this remaining 3 tuples. After you write these 3 tuples, you will solve one string of your choice. Like I have solved 3 here, out of which one you can solve. Is that example understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll wait for 2 minutes. You can take down this problem. It is 12:05 here. I'll wait for 2 minutes. You can note this down. लिहून घ्या.
Can you repeat, sir, please? You'll be getting a recording of this lecture. Don't worry. Okay?
Done. Next question. So next is language of palindromes. Language of palindromes, where you are dealing with your alphabet for A's and B's. What is palindrome? We all know palindrome is a string whose reverse is the string itself. Correct? Palindrome is a string whose reverse is the original string itself. Now here this string is comprising of A and B. String is comprising of A's and B's. So what will be our language strings? Whether null is a palindrome? Yes, null is a palindrome. Next, whether only A is a palindrome? Yes, only A is also palindrome. Only B is also palindrome. AA is also palindrome. AB is not a palindrome. Correct? BA is also not a palindrome. Then BB is palindrome. Correct? Then AAA is palindrome. ABA is palindrome. BAB is palindrome. BBB is palindrome. Then 4 times A is palindrome. Then ABBA is palindrome. Then BAAB is palindrome. Then BBBB is palindrome. Did you understand this? Please mute yourself. Yes, is this understood?
Yes, sir.
Are the strings understood which are palindromes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, my dear students, if we closely observe here in these examples, please mute yourself. If we closely observe in these examples, for if I have first symbol as A, suppose A, then I have corresponding A over here, right? So for every A, I have A matching. Or say for example, I have B. Then for every B, I have a B matching. In the earlier example, if you remember, A raised to N, B raised to N. For every A, I was having a B matching. Correct? For every A, I used to have a B matching. But here, for every A, I have a A matching. Or for every B, I have a B matching. Are you getting this? So here, recursion is something like this. Are you getting this? Like in A raised to N, B raised to N, I was having for every A, I was having a B. But that cannot be applied here to palindrome, because for every A, I have a A matching, or for every B, I have a B matching kind of situation over here. Are you getting this one, my dear students? Is the first part understood? What do I mean by for every A, there is a matching A. For every B, there is a matching B. So if I try to write production rule for this, how I will write? A, SA and B, SB. Correct? For every A, I have a matching A, and for every B, I have a matching B. Okay. Now, if I want to have strings like suppose ABBA, still I can get that, because I'll apply first ASA and then I'll apply BSB. Correct? Then I'll be able to reach to these kind of strings A, B, B, A. So in this recursion, I can use combinations of A and B both also. And already every left hand side A is getting adjusted to a right side A, because my recursion is like ASA and BSB. So that continuous pattern will be repeated. Now this pattern has to end somewhere, right? This pattern has to end somewhere. Correct? So for this type of string which I have taken, what string I have taken here, for example, it is AA, sorry, it is ABBA. It is ABBA. What is length of this string? 4. So I can say this is an even length string. It is an even length string. So when my palindrome is of even length, my dear students, you see, once I am done with all the four symbol, what remains inside is S. What remains inside is S. So for this string to become ABBA now, this S should become null. This S should become null, correct? So I should also add a production rule that S gives null, correct? So if now I have S gives null, I can make here like this. I can apply production rule S gives null over here, correct? I had applied S gives ASA over here, and I had applied S gives BSB over here. And then last symbol that was remaining, that was S. This I have to make it as null. Then only ABBA I will get. Suppose I give you string like BBBB. What will happen? First I'll apply S gives BSB, BSB. Then again middle S will be BSB. So I'm getting S gives BBSBB. Then that middle S again I'll make it as null like this. So I'll get string like BBBB. I'll get string like BBBB. Are you getting this? Yes. Suppose I have a two length palindrome. Suppose AA or BB. How it will be handled? Suppose I have palindrome like AA. So I'll apply S gives ASA. So both the A's are done. Then this S will be again null. So AA I'll get. Are you getting this? Is this much understood, my dear students? Can anyone just confirm?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
my palindrome, if it is of even length, if my palindrome is of even length means two length palindrome or four length, or for that matter zero length also. Zero length palindrome means what? Null. So they are getting accepted by this one. So if I want to accept null, directly I'll apply S gives null. Null is accepted. Then for AA, I'll do this kind of derivation. S gives ASA and then S gives null. AA is accepted. For BB, what I'll do? S gives BSB and then S gives null. So BB will be accepted, right? Then 4 times A can be accepted like this. Then ABB I have shown. BA, ABB can also be accepted in that way, and 4 times B also can be accepted. So this much part works well with even length palindrome. But now, my dear students, we also have few odd length palindromes over here. Like I have only A, correct? Only A, then only B. Then I have this 3 length A, 3 length B, then ABA and BBB kind of strings also. So consider this particular example. Suppose I am working string like ABA. ABA. So what will happen? I'll first apply S gives ASA. So with this A and this A is done. So now this S should be replaced by what in order to get ABA? Yes, can anyone tell me? This
B.
S should be replaced. Correct, very good. This S should be replaced by B, correct? Or another example I'll give you. Suppose you have a string like BAB. Suppose you have a string like BAB. Then first I'll use S gives BSB, correct? First I'll use S gives BSB. Then for getting this B and this B is done using this B and B. Then this S should be replaced by what in order to get BAB?
A.
Correct. This S should be replaced by A. This S should be replaced by A in that case, right? So when I am having odd length palindromes, see, when I am having odd length palindromes, or for example, I can take a 5 length palindrome also. Suppose I am having AB, ABA kind of string, okay? 5 length string, AB, ABA. Then first I'll have ASA, correct? Then I'll have, for this A again I'll have BSB. correct? Then for this S, now I should be able to get this A, correct? So when I am dealing with odd length palindromes, middle symbol that is remaining is either A or B. Middle symbol that is remaining is either A or B. So I'm adding two more options to this production rule, that is either A or B. With this, what happens is my only A and only B, that is one length palindrome, also get accepted by my grammar. So my final grammar looks like this. S gives null or ASA or BSB or A or B. Is it understood, my dear students? So what will be my VT here? My VT is A and B. What is my VN? VN is capital S, only one non-terminal. What is starting symbol of this grammar? It is S, which belongs to VN, and this is my production rule. This is my production rule. And one string you can solve, one odd length and one even length. Is it clear? Example? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is 12:18. I'll wait for another 2 minutes. You can take down this. First, write down the language strings, then write down the production rules, then write down the remaining 3 tuples, and then write one or two derivation. One you can write for even length, maybe ABBA, which I have written. One you can write for odd length, maybe BAB string. 2 strings are sufficient for you to show. I'll wait for 2 minutes, then we'll start with the next example. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Shall we move on to the next example? Yes. Now, suppose I give you an expression. Suppose it is A plus B cleans. Ideally, this is a regular language, right? But for regular language also, I can write context-free grammars, because all regular languages are contextual basically. If you see that circle, all regular languages are context-free languages. So even if I give you a regular expression, I will be able to write context-free grammar for it. I'll be able to write a context-free grammar for it. So let us write grammar for this language. Let us write grammar for this language, right? So what is this language? A or A plus B cleans. So we all know what are the strings for this language: null, A, B, AA, AB, BA, BB, 3 times A, AAB, ABA, ABB, BAA, BAB, BBA, BBB, and so on. Right? So you all know that these strings are there. So let me write grammar for this now. First of all, I can repeat A anytime. I can repeat B any number of times. Right? I can repeat A any number of times. I can repeat B any number of times. And I can have also null in my language. I can also have null in my language. So suppose if you want string like null, suppose if you want string like null, directly you'll write s gives null. Correct? If you want string like A, if you want string like A, first I'll write s gives as, and then this s gives null, so A will be accepted. Right? Suppose I want string like B. Suppose I want string like B. First I'll write s gives BS, and then this s gives null, so string like B will be accepted. Then next is, suppose string is AA. String is AA. So first I'll write s gives AS. So one A is done. Again this s gives AS. Two A's are done. Then s gives null. So A is accepted. Are you getting this? Next string is AB. So first I'll write AS. Then as my string is AB, next time I'll write s gives BS. Next time I'll write s gives null. So string AB is accepted. Suppose I have string like ABB now. Suppose ABB I am taking 3 length. How it will be? S gives AS. This A is done. Then S gives BS. This B is done. Then again S gives BS. This B is also done. Then S gives null. So ABB will be accepted. Are you getting this? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? So you can take down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is my production rule. You can write what is Vn, what is Vt, and what is starting symbol. You can write on your own. I'll wait for 1 minute. Just take down this one. रोल नंबर 67 स्नेहल गोपने.
Yes, sir.
कळालं का? Did you understand? Roll number 18.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what is grammar?
It is four tuple.
What are the four tuples?
VN, VT, S and P.
Okay, roll number 24. Nishant Shivte. Roll number 24.
Hello.
Yes, what is VN?
VN is a set of non-terminal symbols.
Very good. Roll number 20.
Yes, sir.
Nikita. What
Yes,
is
sir.
VT?
It is set of terminal symbols.
Set of terminal symbols. Okay. Roll number 51. Apurva.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. What is S?
Starting symbol.
Starting symbol of the grammar. Okay. Then roll number 4. Anushka.
Yes, sir.
What is P?
Sir, it is a set of production notes.
Production rules. It is set of production rules.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 43. Madhuri. Roll number 43. Madhuri. Roll number 43. Are you there? Roll number 43. Roll number 33. Karthik.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the four types of grammar?
So the type 0 grammar, type 1 grammar, type 2 grammar, and type 3 grammar.
Okay. Type 0 grammar is also called as
Sir, unrestricted grammar.
unrestricted grammar. What is the conditions for alpha and beta?
Sir, alpha and beta belongs to VN union VT star.
Okay. So it can be any combinations of terminals and non-terminals. Very good. Then roll number 59. Anirudh. Yes, Aniruddha, what is type 1 grammar?
No.
Yes, what is type 1 grammar? Yes, Aniruddha, what is type 1 grammar? Aniruddha, what is type 1 grammar? लक्ष आहे का नाही? Aniruddha.
Hello, sir.
Yes, what is type 1 grammar?
Sir, माहित नाही.
लक्ष कुठं आहे? Roll number 29, Rohit Patil. Rohit Patil. Roll number 29, Rohit Patil. Yes, what is type 1 grammar?
So type 1 grammar is also called as context sensitive grammar, in which alpha beta belongs to VN union VT star,
Yes,
and some mod alpha is less than equal to mod beta.
okay. Roll number 39, Omkar Pawar.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is type 2 grammar?
So it is also called context-free grammar, in which alpha is belongs to Vn, beta belongs to VT union Vn cleans, and mod alpha is less than or equal to mod beta.
Roll number 48, Mudassir.
Yes, sir.
What is type 3 grammar?
Regular grammar.
What are the conditions for regular grammar?
Alpha belongs to non-terminal values,
Hmm.
and beta belongs to terminal as well as non-terminal,
Hmm.
and beta is also belonging to only terminal.
Okay. Very good. Yes. So good students. So after that we have seen some numericals today. Let us continue with few more numericals. Next question. L is equal to A or B plus. If you remember students, I had told you plus notation also. So plus notation means there is absence of null string. Rest it will behave like cleans only, right? So what will be the strings in this language? A, B, A, B, B, 3 times A, B, 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 and so on. Correct? Only null will be absent. So now in the earlier grammar we had written condition like this: AS or BS. For repeating any number of A's, I write AS. For repeating any number of B's, I write BS. But to stop that, in earlier example we had written null. Now if we write null over here, what will happen? Null directly I can apply S gives null, and null string will get accepted. But I don't want null to be accepted in my language, because my language now starts with A. My language now starts with A. My language now starts with A. Is it understood, students? Why I cannot write null? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now,
Yes, sir.
instead of that, what we can do is we can terminate with only A or B. We can terminate it with only A or B. So if I want my first string to be accepted, which is A, I can directly apply production rule S gives A. I can directly apply production rule S gives A. So only A is accepted. Then if I want B to get accepted, I can directly apply only production rule S gives B. So only B is accepted. Correct? Then if I want to accept string like AA, then what I'll do? I'll first apply S gives AS. First I'll apply S gives AS, and then I'll apply this S gives A. Then I'll apply S gives A, so I'll get string like AA. Correct? Suppose I want string like AB. Suppose I want string like AB. So first I'll apply S gives AS. Right? Then I'll apply S gives B. So I'll get string like AB. Similarly, suppose I want string like ABA. Suppose I want string like ABA. So first I'll apply S gives AS. So first I'm working out ABA. So this A will be done. Then S gives BS. This B will be done. And then this S gives A. So ABA will be accepted. Did you understand? So instead of writing that null, we are terminating it with A or B. Then we will be getting grammar for A or B plus. Is it clear? Yes, students, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can write down the grammar production rule and also mention what is terminal, non-terminal and starting symbol. So every grammar problem, what you need to do, first write this language strings. After you write this language strings, write down this grammar. After you write down this grammar, write down these 3 tuples and solve one string of your choice. I'll wait for 1 minute, you can take down this problem. Then we'll see next problem. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take down next problem. Language of strings starting with A. Language of strings starting with A. Language of strings starting with A. What will be the language elements? A, AA, AB, AAA, AAB, ABA, ABB, correct? And so on. Language of string starting with A. All of you just pay attention here, my dear students. Now string should start with A. String should start with A. After that A, you can get any combination of A and B. And for writing any combination of A and B, just now I had taught you the logic. How to write any combination of A and B? This is what we had solved, right? This was for plus. This is any combination of A and B, right? Any combination of A and B is this one. AS or BS or null. Right? So now we need to solve it for starting with A. So first my string should start with A. First my string should start with A. So from S when I start, first thing should be A. After that anything can come. That anything is now non-terminal A for me. So anything from A or B or null. This we have seen right now, right? What this? This is same like the earlier one. This one. Correct? A plus B star. This was like S gives AS or BS or null. Only thing is now we have written it in another non-terminal format. because now S we have already used, because S gives A. So now first A will come compulsory. This small a will come. After that, what I want? This capital A. This capital A is nothing but any combination of A's and B's. This capital A is nothing but any combination of A's and B's. So if I want string like suppose AAB, suppose I want string like AAB. Suppose I take string AAB. Suppose my string is AAB. How I'll do? It is AA. It is AA. Then this A gives again AA. This A gives again AA. Then this A gives. Wait. There's a small mistake here. Wait. This is not B. This has to be A. Same non-terminal. If you see here, it was S gives AS or BS. So the name of non-terminal should be same. So it is A gives AA or BA. So this A will be now BA, and finally this A will be now null. So we'll accept string like AAB. What will be our 4 tuple now? VT will be AB, BN will be S and A, starting symbol is S. Is it clear? This is our production rule. Yes, is it clear? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, just
Yes.
take
Yes,
down
sir.
take down this numerical, then we'll see more examples.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Can you repeat, please?
What is the doubt? Can you just specify me the doubt? Yes. Who was that? Hello. अरे कोण होतं? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What was the doubt? Yes, what was the doubt? Our string should start with A, correct? Our string should start with A. So first I write S gives small a and capital A. Here one small a will be processed compulsory every time. Then what is my capital A? My capital A is basically any combinations of A's and B's. This grammar we have seen just now in the form of S in the earlier example. How I write any combination of A's and B's? That grammar was S gives AS or BS or null. So here I am writing the same grammar in terms of A. So capital A gives AA or BA or null. So this part, this second part, this basically gives me something which is A plus B star. Correct? And this is giving me starting with A. So totally it is like A into A plus B star, which is nothing but starting with A. The question that is asked. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next problem. Yes, all of you take down language L, A raised to N, B, A raised to N, where n is greater than equal to 1. A raised to n, b a raised to n, where n is greater than equal to 1. Yes. What will be my first string in this language? Can anyone tell me?
ABA.
ABA.
Very good. So when the value of n is 1, string will be ABA. What will be the second string in this language?
AABAA.
Very good. AABAA. When my value of n is 2, string will be 2 times A, then B, then 2 times A. Then next will be 3 times A, B, 3 times A, and so on. So again here also, for every A I am having a corresponding A. Correct? For every A I have a corresponding A. This is my recursion. And it stops with B at the end. It stops with B at the end. Not with a null. Right? It stops with B at the end. And minimum 1 A should come because n is greater than equal to 1. So minimum 1 A should be there in my language. So when minimum 1 A is there, I process that minimum 1 A using this AAA. So minimum 1 A will be processed. Correct? If I want more number of A's, again I can apply A capital AA. Correct? So if I want only one A, say for example, my string is ABA. So what I'll do, S gives AAA. So this A is done, this A is done. Now with this A, what I would require? I would require a B. So I give here option of B. I give here option of B. So my string ABA is accepted now. My string AB is accepted. Now suppose I have a string like 2 times A, BAA. This is my string. Then what will happen? First I apply S gives. First I'll apply S gives A, AA. So my first A and this last A is done. Now again I need one more A. For this A will be replaced by this AAA. So I'll get 2 A's and 2 A's which are required for me. And now this finally middle B I require, which I'll get by writing A gives B. This is not doing A gives B. See, while solving derivation, please make sure you write it in proper way. In bracket, you should specify which production rule you are applying, like this. Okay, so this is for string ABA. Here I have not mentioned the production rules. I'll erase this. Mentioning production rules is required. It is must. Is the example understood? So you can specify what are your terminal, what are your non-terminal, what is your starting symbol, and these are your production rules. Take down.
Sir,
Yes.
so for ABA, so there should be A gives B.
It is there, na? Ha. Correct. This one, na?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Very good. Your name?
Rohit Patil.
Done, all of you? Yes, students, done?
Yes, sir.
Next example. L is equal to a raised to n, b a raised to n. Now n is greater than equal to 0. Write down language strings. All of you write down language strings. First string in this language will be
B.
very good. First string will be B.
B.
Yes, next. ABA. Very good. Yes, just try to write grammar. Anyone would like to share any answer? Anything that is going on in his or her mind? Even if it is wrong, you can share. You can discuss.
A or B.
What S gives?
S gives A as A or B.
Your name?
Sneha.
Very good. Correct. S gives A as A or B. Now I don't need another new non-terminal. In the earlier example, n was greater than equal to 1. So we had to process that one A compulsory. That's why I took one more non-terminal. And then there I repeated a pattern of repeating A again and finishing it with B. But now when my n is greater than equal to 0, I can directly terminate my recursion in the same non-terminal only. So only B is getting accepted. If I apply S gives B, only B is getting accepted. If I want string like ABA, first I'll apply S gives ASA, then I'll apply S gives B, so ABA will be accepted. When I want 2 times ABAA, I'll apply S gives ASA 2 times, correct? Then I'll apply S gives B. Is it clear? All of you, write down the production rules. Write down Vn, Vt, starting symbol, and one derivation. Done? Yes, done? Okay, next problem. All of it again. Language L is equal to 0 raised to n, 1 raised to, just hold on, 0 raised to n, 1 raised to 2n, where n is greater than or equal to 1. Zero raised to n, 1 raised to 2n, where n is greater than equal to 1. My dear students, all of you pay attention. Now here, when I say 2n, it is twice the number of count. Okay. So when the value of n is 1, what it indicates? I need 1 0. When I have 1 0, I need 2 ones. Because for 1 I have power of 2n. Are you getting this? So what will be the first string that will be accepted from this language? Yes, can anyone tell me?
0, 1, 1.
Very good. 0 1 1. So when the value of n is 1, when the value of n is 1, string accepted will be 0 1 1. When the value of n is 2, string accepted will be, yes, can anyone tell me?
0, 0, 1, 1, 1.
Correct. 2 times 0 and
0, 0, 4, 4 times
4
1.
times 1. Very good. Next will be 3 times 0 and 6 times 1 and so on.
6 times.
Twice. Very good. Very good. So twice the number of ones we need. Correct. Now and value of n we know is greater than 1. So we will prefer having two non-terminals. We'll prefer having two non-terminals, right? So when I write pattern, for every 0 now, for every 0, how many ones I need? I need 2 ones. Are you getting this? For every 0, I need 2 ones. And recursion I'll do using new non-terminal because minimum 1 0 should be processed. If more number of zeros are coming, they will be replaced by this one, 0a11. Or if I want to stop, I can stop it by null. So if you are getting string like 011, how you will solve this? S gives 0a11, right? Production rule that you will use is S gives 0a11, and then A gives null. Next will be A gives null. Next will be A gives null. Is it understood? Suppose I take string like 0 0 4 times 1. So first I'll apply S gives 0a11. First I'll apply S gives 0a11. Next time I'll apply A gives 0a11. Next time I apply A gives 0a11. Then I'll apply A gives null. Then I'll apply A gives null to get string 0 0 4 times 1. Is it understood, students?
Yes, sir.
So for every 0, earlier we used to have 1 1. If I give you problem like 0 raised to n, 1 raised to n, where n is greater than or equal to 1. So I would have written 0a single 1. But here I have 2 ones. That's why it is 0a 2 times 1. Rest logic remains same. So this is my production rule. You can write what is your terminal symbol. It is 0 and 1. Your non-terminal symbols are S and A. Your starting symbol of your grammar is S, which belongs to Vn, and these are your production rules. And you can solve one string. So you can take down this problem. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Done? Yes, completed. Am I audible?
So,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Done, or still you need time to write? We'll wait for 1 more minute. Mute, mute, mute. Someone has switched on the mic. One more numerical we'll take and then we'll stop. Okay, one last numerical I'll take. 2 hours in online becomes little heavy. I can understand. I'll take only one problem and then we'll stop for today. Okay, take down next problem. Yes. 0 raised to n, 1 raised to 2n, one raised to 2n, where now n is greater than equal to 0. All of you write down the strings. Yes, what will be the first string?
Null.
Very good. Null. What will be the next string?
Null.
Acha, after null, what will be the next string?
011.
0 double 1. Very good. Then 2 times 0, 4
4
times 1.
times 1.
4
Correct.
times 1.
Very good. So, what can be the grammar? Can anyone tell me?
S gives 0 as 11 or
0.
null.
Oh yes, 1 1.
One by one. Okay. Someone told S gives 0 as 1 1. Okay. What else? Yes.
So S gives
Or
0
null.
as 1 1 or null.
This is one
Or
option.
null.
Okay. Someone else was also telling some capital A. Yes. Anyone else would like to share answer? But any different answer? Yes. So this is correct. No doubt this is correct. Okay. So when I apply S gives null, this string gets accepted. When I want 0 1 1, I'll apply this once. Then S gives null. Then when I want this, I'll apply this 2 times and then S gives null and so on. So this is my production rule. P. Accordingly, you can write what is your Vn, Vt, starting symbol. You can solve one string 0 0 4 times 1. S gives 0 S 1 1, 0 S 1 1, and is it clear, students? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it interactive? It is quite challenging to teach mathematics like this. Okay, but I hope you have understood the problems. Yes, whatever we have discussed today. Yes, students.
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes,
quite
sir.
challenging. It's quite challenging, but is the handwriting visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it required that then I teach you on board or something? See, I am teaching on computer only. Okay. This is another way I can teach. I can focus it on a whiteboard. You can see a whiteboard behind me right now. But in that case, I feel the font size won't be proper. Is this method okay? Whether you are able to read the handwriting properly?
Yes, sir.
Can we continue in the same way from next lecture onwards?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just hold on for a minute. Let me download the attendance first.